So, hello everyone. As you all know, I am Himanshu, founder of Mars Pioneer, and we have our guest Billy Chen. He is an astrophotographer. So, Billy, can you please share something about yourself? Like, can you please introduce yourself to our audience?
All right. Hi, Himanshu, and my name is Billy Chan, and you all can call me Billy.
Yeah,
And I'm from Alpha Astronomy,
yeah,
and I turned 20 years old this year, and I'm born in Malaysia.
yeah,
So, yeah, I appreciate your invitations for this podcast. And
yeah.
yeah, for my Alpha Astronomy, it basically is sharing about my work on about astrophotography.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
So, as I ask every one of my guests, like, how you got interested in this field of space science, like space?
Okay, okay, the space related topics, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it basically, I was interested when I was young, like maybe 5 years old, and I remember I at the time I was looking at a book that it has a cluster, a photo of
Yes.
the cluster or nebula, and I was uh, immersed into the view of the the nebula, and I love how the space looking,
Yes.
yeah, and the galaxy is so beautiful.
Yes.
And then I was able to buy a telescope when I
Yes.
was like maybe 19 years old.
Yes.
And after that, I was starting my Instagram account named as Alpha Astronomy, as
Yes.
what you guys seeing right now.
Yes. So, sir,
Yeah.
how the space agency works in Malaysia? Like, they had any space agency? Like in our India, we have government space agency known as ISRO, Indian Space Research and Organization. So, I don't know you have heard about it or not. So, is there any space agency in Malaysia?
Okay, okay.
Yes.
You just said the thing I want to say. Okay, so for the space agency in Malaysia is quite not famous, and
Yes,
I
sir.
didn't know any of space agency in Malaysia, and I think Malaysia government doesn't focus on the space related field.
Yes,
Like
sir.
as you can see, India got your
Yes.
rocket, right?
Yes,
Your
sir.
agency rocket, and for Malaysia, we don't have any kind of agency that have any rocket. And I think I hope
Yes.
one day our government will more focus on space field like
Yes, sir.
how India right now.
Yes. Looking forward for it.
Oh, you mean what they do to encourage students to
Yes.
join the space?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Um. For this topic, I didn't know how they propose or introduce to students about space. And because in Malaysia, I can say, okay,
Yes, sir.
they doesn't care about space. They doesn't care
Yes,
about
yes.
galaxy. Yeah. So in Malaysia, we don't have any kind of foundations about the space
Yes, sir.
actually.
So, sir,
So
yes.
yeah.
Sir, I was asking that can you elaborate more about astrophotography? Like many people don't know how to pursue
So
astrophotography.
in my
Yes,
view, is it so share my experience?
yes,
Okay. So what experience from me is that for the astrophotography, you don't really need a telescope, and
yes,
you probably just need a phone, like
yes, sir.
a normal smartphone. And for the astrophotography, and you just simply took a photo about the sky, the
Yes,
night
sir.
sky, and maybe you can take the photo of constellations, like what I does, and you can view it from my profile in my Instagram.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, you can maybe take a photo of the moon, and you can take a photo of any stars
Yes,
on the
sir.
sky. And yeah, and this is only for the beginners and for those who are interested, and you can try with your phone, and you don't need to pay so much for buying a telescope,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So yeah, after that, when you become you know you are interested in this field and you want to invest more,
Yes,
and
sir.
you can go for a telescope and advance your skill.
Yes,
um, so in the case you have a telescope, and I probably know you are good in astrophotography.
yes,
So
sir.
for those people who had a telescope, they can do what I did in the past few months, and all the works now are posted in my Instagram account, and you all can go and view. So for the astrophotography, actually, to be frank, it require a high amount of budget for you to invest into it, and it is all about money.
Yes, sir.
Because yeah, for the higher quality, you need a
Yes,
better gear, you need a good camera. So yeah, for those who had a limit budget, I don't really suggest you to join
yes,
astrophotography.
yes, sir. So, like, how can a beginner start for a astrophotography? Like, one had to go and research about it in a space website, or one just had to just start the stargazing kind of thing.
Yeah, so you can start by stargazing. Yeah, watch the meteor shower. It is
Yes,
great. I can say like maybe you can do research, and maybe you can view it from the website called Stellarium.
yes,
Right, you can check. You can see all the picture, all the photos about the stars.
yes, sir.
Yeah. So for a beginner, actually for a beginner, you can just relax yourself in
Yes,
the night sky
yes,
and just see the star.
yes,
Yeah, I think probably that's all for a beginner.
yes,
Yeah, I think most probably will be the James Webb.
yes,
I was looking good for the James Webb telescope,
yes,
and yeah, it has a bigger, I mean, yeah, bigger size, right? And it can see the infrared.
yes, sir.
Yes, it has a bigger spectrum, of course. Yeah, I think the James Webb is looking good for it, and I think it still needs 6 months of calibrations. Is it
Yes,
right? Yeah, so waiting for them to calibrate, and yeah, we were waiting for the image from the James Webb.
yes. So, sir, after like clicking photo of the space and stars and moon, like you said, for beginners, they have to click the photos of galaxy and whatever they see in the sky, like while stargazing. So, after they click the photo, do they have to edit in some kind of softwares or a special kind of software designed for proper astrophotography, or it is just you have to get the details from whatever photos you have clicked on also?
Okay, so you are speaking of edit the photos, edit from the
Yes,
photos of the DSO, right?
yes,
Displaced object, is it? And yeah, so when you taking the photo of DSO, like us done by using a telescope,
yes, sir.
it has a quite long process, and you need to stack the photo, you need to edit the photo,
Yes,
and yeah, it can basically separate into two steps, and the first is take the I mean you take the photo and stack it,
yes,
and the second will be the edit the photo. So okay, so speaking of the stacking of photos,
yes,
we do have a software for that.
yes,
Um, the software name is the hold on. It is called as a Deep Sky Stacker,
yes,
and yeah, basically we are using it to stack our images,
yes, sir.
which you require the like at least 90 plus frames,
Yes,
like
sir.
frames, dark frames,
Yes,
for you to yes, for you to stack. And after you stack the images, you need to edit it in any kind of photo editor,
yes,
like
sir.
Adobe Photoshop.
Yes, sir.
Right, you can edit it. or in your phone you can edit.
Yes.
Yeah, and it has many software outside. You can edit the video, edit the photo,
Yes.
of course. But if you are speaking of like Hubble space, how they edit the photo,
Yes.
it will be quite difficult for us, and because it took many photo for the same, I mean, for different spectrums for the same DSO,
Yes.
and they need to stack based on the spectrum, different frames, and you need to edit based on the color. Is it?
Yes.
I don't know. Is it color or the substance? Right.
Yes.
The like the oxygens to something like that.
Yes.
I'm not sure. Yeah. And how they edit the video. I mean, how they edit the photo,
Yes.
and it require their own software, of course.
Yes. Sir, talking about taking the photos of stars and moons and stacking it, that kind of thing. Have you heard about 17-year boy in India who has taken a clearest photo of the moon in
Yeah,
recent
I
years?
think I heard that before, like few months ago. Is it?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, I don't know the details. I just
yes,
saw
sir.
it in the title of the news, and
Yes,
I
sir.
got surprised for
Yes,
that.
sir. Sir, he had the telescope and he like in the interviews he has said that he began taking the photos of moon by 3 a.m. and he took videos and taken the frame out of them and nearly he had 5,000 photos of the moon of different craters and different area. Then he stitched and stacked them into the software and then he had the clearest photo of the moon ever. So and it required him like TB of space for computing. So what you want to tell about it?
Okay, so based on what you said, because
Yes,
I not really know about the details about the news, and
yes,
yeah,
sir.
I pretty much I think uh, how can I say it surprised me, and
Yes,
it is impossible for me to do that also. Okay, although I had a telescope, and
yes, sir.
yeah, I appreciate how he spent his time
Yes, sir.
in taking the photo of the moon.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, I don't think I can do the same with him. um, yeah, so speaking of taking the photo of moon, I do take photos of moon, of
Yes, sir.
course, like before. But yeah, for me, I also take the video of the moon
Yes, sir.
and I will process the video, become a photo and stack it
Yes,
using software. And yeah, you can get a clearer image of the moon, of course.
yes. Yes, sir. I was talking that how is basic education system treated in the Malaysia. Like in India, if
Uh-huh.
we go out little bit out of syllabus and give extra knowledge we already have, so then teacher would like first of all praise us for the first time. But if we repeat that thing again and again, so teacher would say that please be in the boundaries of book and the boundaries of syllabus because it is of no use and you have to give the exams to clear get the marks, that kind of things. So how is education treated there?
Okay, so okay, so I make it clearer.
Yes, sir.
And so you are speaking of the India is limiting their education, is it?
Yes, sir.
Not to over the boundary about your syllabus, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So in Malaysia, I don't know, is that the peoples in here or what? Like we will study things about our syllabus, of course,
Yes.
and we don't really have study the things that out of the syllabus.
Yes.
That okay. So for the topics and the subjects that is out of syllabus,
Yes.
we is not available in school,
Yes.
right? And yeah, most probably you can learn it from online. Yes, it is
Yes.
allowable, but for school or educations, they are not giving us anything that out of the syllabus.
Yes, sir. Sir, is
And
yes, sir.
yeah, So
Yes, sir.
and also the Malaysia education, they doesn't limit us that what we need to learn, and what I mean what we must is, yes, we need to do, but for those who not necessary, you are allowable to do that. You are allowable to learn
Yes,
anything you want in Malaysia.
yes, sir.
Curious about your how you find me, right?
Yes, sir.
Why you want to find me and invite me to join your podcast?
Yes, sir. Like, um, as you know, and as everyone in our audience know till now, whosoever has seen the previous podcast and this podcast too, that I am a founder of Mars Pioneers. It is an initiative, and our mission is to make a Mars rover and send it to Mars and see the check the safety of crew capsule of astronauts, so that mean finding a perfect area and safe area for the landing of is like crew capsule, what whosoever would be landing there, I mean after 2030 or after 2060. So it is basically for safety of crews, and there are other scientific objectives too, but our primary mission now is to make the rover and design it and get the funding, that kind of thing. But then I realized at a point that educating and spreading awareness about space is more necessary than doing the mission, because if you know about Apollo moon landing,
Yes,
so
yes, yes,
many people know about, like whosoever know about moon landing, they had the name of, they know the name of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, but they don't know that. Means some of them don't know that there were many missions taken out after that also. Like after that also, 10 to 12 astronaut has also landed on moon and experimented. Mean experiment did experiments and did research on the moon, like and they have took the near MMRTG, like multi mission radio isotopic generator to them, to moon also, and many experiments were carried out there too, but people are more towards the who was the man who landed first and that kind of facts. So I saw, like there was a very big space between people and like my mission, so I thought that I have to fill the space, and like many Indian YouTubers are doing that also, by spreading the right awareness and the right facts about the space missions and that kind of thing. Like how could you pursue the space if you want to join the space research agency of any country or your own country too, and what goes back there, like how the rockets are built, and is there failure or only success lies there. So I thought that I have to first educate and spread the awareness about space, then
oh,
my mission of sending the Mars rover to Mars would be successful. Otherwise, it would be only the name, one of the names, which is one of the names in the mission, which is sent to the Mars. Yes,
yes.
sir.
I agree your point. Yes, firstly to educate the peoples,
Yes, sir.
and they will be more concerned about the space.
Yes,
And
sir.
I agree what you're doing right now.
Yes,
And
sir.
yeah, I have the same goal with you. Like previously, I willing
Yes,
that
sir.
I hope one day that has become more people know about space,
Yes,
and they are willing to spend their time, their money on space, right?
yes,
And doing the research on the space. And yeah, I hope one day we
yes, sir.
can send people to Mars or any
Yes,
other
sir.
planets. Uh, so also for the goals of Alpha Astronomy also
Yes, sir.
is to sharing about the beauty of the, the sky, the night sky,
Yes,
the beauty of planets, moon, and yeah, probably anything in the space.
yes,
And yeah, I really hope that one day many people will try to, like, invest in
yes,
the space related
yes,
field.
sir.
And yeah, I think that's all.
Yes. Sir, I have two questions like linked between one question. So my first question is that have you ever been in any space agency, be it NASA, ESA, or any other space agency? And my second question is, do you want to be part of these agency? Like uh, we say in India, we normally say if one is interested in space, one would be probably saying that he would want to be astronaut or he would want to be in NASA or in ISRO or in ESA, JAXA, that kind of thing. So these are my two questions.
Okay. So for me, as a founder of Alpha Astronomy, I never been joining any agency in Malaysia or any other agency from other country.
Yes,
And yeah, I hope, okay, I hope one day like any country of the space related agency willing to invite me,
yes, sir.
I will be appreciate. And yeah, in Malaysia, I don't think there will be a space agency
Yes,
because the people in here and those government are not
yes,
concerned about space.
yes,
They are more concerned about economy, of course.
yes, sir.
So I have nothing to do,
Yes,
and
sir.
for my one man power doesn't mean a lot to that, and I can't spread the, the importance of space for my alone.
Yes,
And
sir.
I hope one day in Malaysia can have some people like you
Yes, sir.
do a podcast.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I think that's all from me. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, sir, like nowadays you are pursuing your like education in space industry or you are pursuing like commerce or science field?
Yeah, you mean my education, my current education?
Yes, sir.
Actually, I'm studying in information technology.
Yes,
That
sir.
that is not related to space at
Yes,
all.
sir.
So actually, the astrophotography is one of my hobby when I
Yes,
was
sir.
young, and I turned out I found that the space related job in Malaysia
Yes, sir.
is, I can say, there's no job
Yes, sir.
for scientists that do research about space in Malaysia.
Yes, sir.
And also, the course in Malaysia doesn't have any space or astronomy course as and any other space related topics at all.
Yes, sir.
And I I have no choice. Then I choose for information technology.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. I would like to move toward the end of this podcast. Like, I would want to ask you, like, everybody knows what is my goal and vision. So, my first question is you to like uh, it is same like the previous one. What is your goal and what is your vision? Like, first of all, goal means what you want to become, and vision mean what you want to provide to society through your whatsoever you would be becoming or researching on. Yes, sir.
Okay. So for the goal, you mean what I want to become, is it? So okay. Um, in speaking of alpha astronomy, um, actually I didn't think about what to become
Yes, sir.
as a alpha astronomy, and I I don't know, like I was doing sharing about my work, about
Yes,
my
sir.
hobby, spread my my work
Yes, sir.
and my like anything that I done for the
Yes, sir.
astrophotography to people outside. And yeah, I think for the goal,
Yes, sir.
hmm, I think I will be the I don't know, like a person to share the knowledge about astrophotography
Yes,
one
sir.
day. Okay, so for the reason, like uh I don't know, like the reason maybe just hopes that one day people can
yes,
be more concerned about space.
yes, sir.
And yeah, because the space, right, the
Yes, sir.
astronomy, those things are not being concerned by the people outside.
Yes, sir.
And hmm, yeah, I think it should be more important than other jobs.
Yes,
Not right. Yeah, like other fields like economy, those things are just it's just like a
yes,
but a
sir.
toy for people for human.
Yes, sir.
Like the biggest thing is the space. Like
Yes, sir.
there's no boundaries, there's no
Yes,
limits
sir.
out there, and all those living things
Yes,
maybe
sir.
outside the earth,
Yes, sir.
and they are they are far from us, and
Yes, sir.
might be they know our existence, but
Yes,
we don't
sir.
know them, right? So I hope one day we can be more stronger, and yeah, travel in space will be cool.
Yes, sir. Sir, that same thing is my perspective of viewing the space, because people don't actually know that sending one astronaut to International Space Station need more than 1,000 to 5,000 people on the ground on the Earth. So that kind of information people need to know, and that kind of thing. And space is one of such a field that required every other field for a successful mission. Like to build a rocket, you need mechanical engineer and a civil engineer and an electronics engineer, all type of engineers you need. Then you need computer science engineer to code it too. But agencies like Amazon, Netflix, and Google, you don't need many. You don't need to collaborate with other engineers. Like uh, if you want to code, you don't need to collaborate with any mechanical engineer or any like civil engineer, that kind of thing. But if you want to go into space, you have to collaborate all kind of engineers and scientists in your country, that kind of thing. So
Yes, yes.
yes, yes, sir. So
Uh,
I would like to end the podcast by now, and thank you for joining us
yes,
from yes,
thank you,
sir.
Himanshu, for inviting me to
Yes,
join
sir.
this podcast. I'm happy that finally someone inviting
Yes,
me
sir.
to a podcast. This is my first time on
Yes,
this
sir.
podcast, and yeah, I'm looking forward for you to inviting me again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I would. But and I am thinking to give this podcast name of Introverse, because like we have also started the podcasting recently. So most of our podcast is 50% of the introduction of both our side. Uh, like 25 of the percent of the podcast is like my introduction, and 25% of the podcast is related to the guest introduction and how he got interested, that kind of thing. Once where our audience know how people got interested and that kind of thing, so we would purely move toward the space field and spreading awareness about space. So that's why, like, I have taken intro from the word introduction, and verse from the universe, that kind of thing. So I don't know how will it sound and how it would go successful or not, but it was great for me to talk a person from a foreign soil, and I didn't expect it in my first season, like in the introverse series of this podcast. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for your invitations, and I hope one day you can invite more
Yes, sir.
international scientists, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, any other people outside that they
Yes.
know about space and astronomy.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.